So we're gonna call to order the Board of Selectmen regular scheduled meeting for Monday, April 11th, 2022. And to get started, we're gonna do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. All right. Very much. And now we're going to do public speak. And let's get started with Mike and Kathy Palazzi.
I have nothing at this
You gotta
time.
take us off mute.
I did.
Oh, no, you're not on mute. You're good.
Okay, all right.
Nothing for Mike?
No, we're upset.
Okay. The fishes, how would you guys like to participate?
Hi, I just want to make a quick, I don't know if it's a comment or what you'd call it. I do a lot of walking, especially on Townsend Road. One thing that bothers me is that people don't walk facing traffic. They walk on the wrong side of the road. Is it possible to get signs to say, please walk facing traffic? It really bothers me when I see this. That's it.
All right. Jerry Wright, thank you very much. Jerry Wright.
I have to say the same thing, and they wear black clothes and they walk on the wrong side of the road and they don't, anyway, that would be nice if they wore reflective vests. I've asked Susan Camrata to come on and listen to it tonight. Susan, I can see you're there. And I am stepping aside as the Andover volunteer park director for the Andover Monument Park. And I've asked Susan to step up and to take over there. I'm trying to cut back on a few things. So I hope you welcome her, and if she has anything to say, I'm sure she'll be on board. Thank you.
Jerry, thank you very much for everything you've done. It's greatly appreciated. This town is better off for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, thank you very much. Susan, how are you? We'll let you speak if you'd like to join us.
Hi. Don't really have much to say. I do have a comment about the road walking, Joe, and that's a different topic. I walk up and down my Giravati Road myself. And most of the time I do walk facing traffic, but there is one little curve that I don't, because if I walked facing traffic, they wouldn't see me if they come zooming around that corner. So I don't know if that applies to what the first comment was, but there are times when I go back and forth across the road, depending on what the road looks like.
Thank you.
Can we also put some speed signs and make sure people adhere to the speed limit? Because that's another issue. But that's not about the military at all. So sorry about that.
Well, I'll let you all know. I walk pretty much every day that I'm at home in the morning, because I'll get no exercise if I don't. And Jerry and Diane has seen me walk, and I walk facing traffic. But I will tell you, because I have a dog, I change sides of the road all the time to avoid cars. And I try to get as far away from all the cars as possible. But I probably should wear a reflective vest, Jerry, and be better and be safer. But I try. So
Hey, Jeff, can I break in there for a minute?
sure, go ahead, Jeff.
Well, like three or 4 months ago, I brought up the topic of reflective vests, and we voted on it. It's been approved. Rec Commission has picked out vests, and they will be making them available at Town Hall. And the state trooper will be having them in his car. So if he sees anybody walking without a vest, he's probably going to stop you and ask you to please wear one if possible, and maybe give you one. So it's in process right now, and we'll announce once the vests come in on the website that they'll be available free of charge to any resident.
Okay. All right. Diane Grenier, since you're clapping, you can speak.
I agree with the reflective vest. I think that's a great idea. Put my name on the list. I'd like one. But I wanted to refer to your agenda, item 10B and 10C, where they talk about the Long Hill Field. I think you really mean to call it the Veterans Memorial Field. Is really the proper name for that field. This is the ball field I'm assuming you're talking about.
That's correct.
So it's the Veterans Memorial Field.
We will make that correction during the meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
All right. Anything else? That's it for Diane. All right. Joanne Ebert.
just wanted to make one quick comment on an agenda item as well. I could be reading it wrong, but it looks like new business I is about upcoming in-person town meetings. And if that's, the town gathering, then I withdraw this comment, but I'm hoping we're allowed to keep board meetings virtual for a little while with the budget season and the amount of meetings we're gonna have. It just seems to work out well. So I know you're probably gonna, that could be a whole other thing and I could be reading it wrong. So I just wanted to say that before you discussed it. Thank you.
Diane Choquette,
I'm all set. Thank you.
Leanne Hutchinson,
Hi, I have a question about the charter revision item. Can you hear me okay?
we can go ahead.
Okay, thanks. In your packet, it says that you're seeking volunteers for the Charter Revision Commission. And it says you voted to, last month on March 24th, you voted to initiate a Charter Revision Commission to be appointed by the board at the regular meeting of today, April 11th. And I just noticed in your packet, I did see the notice in the River East last Friday, and in your packet, there's a note that says, notice to River East, please publish in the Friday, April 15th and April 22nd editions. And I was just wondering if that's still in effect or if that's a change. In other words, do you expect to solidify it tonight, or do you still think you're going to be taking letters of application, even though the River East that did appear last week gave noon today as to turn letters in?
Okay. We'll actually talk about that, Leanne, when we get to that item in there in the agenda. And I saw one phone call drop off on, I'm assuming 860-742-5475 is Attorney O'Brien.
No,
That's
that's
me.
that's Leanne's.
Oh,
She's
that's
hooked
Leanne's
up.
phone.
Yeah,
Two.
she's hooked up through her phone.
I
All right.
couldn't get in it. I couldn't get in at first, so I downloaded this again, and then I could hear you, but I couldn't see anyone. So I've now downloaded again. So maybe my first attempt is what dropped off.
Okay. All right, no problem. And then the phone number 208-2345.
That's me.
All right, Attorney O'Brien. All right, and
Yeah.
no, you're good. And Eric Shevchenko. Would you like to
Hi,
participate?
everyone. My name is Eric Shevchenko. I am on the RAM Board of Ed. I've been there since last October. I'm on with Lori Blake. We're the two representatives from Andover. We have just completed our budget proposal for next year. And I just wanted to give you a thumbnail sketch of that and appeal to you and your friends to vote yes on the budget. Some things went up and some things went down, but overall, we have a 1.22% decrease in RAM's budget relative to last year. That amounts to about $375,000 less than last year. Of that, Andover gets $215,000. So Andover's bill for RAM in the coming year will be $215,000 less than in the current budget. Also, there'll be a small amount returned from the surplus to Andover in the amount of $8,000. I want to emphasize that we have not scrimped on the budget. We still have terrific support for RAM, which is an excellent school. But we were able to, mostly from debt reduction and some other reductions, to be able to reduce the budget this year. So if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. If not, I'm appealing to everyone here to please vote yes on the RAM budget. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have everybody. Is there anyone else that I missed?
I have one more thing, Jeff, if you don't mind.
Sure,
I
go
just got a
ahead.
text from Abby and she can't make it tonight, but she asked me to let you know that Mark Williams and I went down to, and lifted the shed up about a week or so ago with a forklift. And it is very solid. It has one rotted beam, partially rotted beam on the side of the porta potty that can be capped and bolted with the 2x6 pressure treated board. And we're going to fix the shed where it is and move it and let you know when it's ready to go.
All right, thank you very much. All right.
Excuse me, Jerry, I'm sorry.
Bye, Susan.
This is Susan again. I probably should have said something when you asked me to say something sooner. Just to introduce myself, I am new to the Andover area. I moved here in December, right before Christmas. I met Jerry pretty quickly after I moved here, and Jerry's been getting me involved in a lot of the veterans issues and meetings, and that's really something I want to focus on. I'm a retired military officer, and I'm decided it's time for me to dedicate myself back to the veterans, and that's what I'm trying to do. So if I could get nominated and accepted to this new position, that would be awesome. And I would like to help Andover and the surrounding areas as much as I can. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Okay, I think we have everybody done. We're gonna go to additions and deletions. Paula, do you have anything that you would like to add?
I do not.
Scott?
Are all these additions here? The sheet that Eric gave us?
I
Well,
don't think so.
No, because this was posted before those conversations happened. So if there was something that you wanted to add, this is the time to add it.
Well, Eric has a whole list of items that were not just Eric's, but Adrian's. And so do you have the email, Scott, from
From who?
Eric? From Eric. I'll tell you what. Let me
I-
just
I-
let
I
me
know
just
it wasn't,
You got 'em?
but I know there was something about Jerry's
okay. So we're going to
situation. And
Eric. Are you on the town? Is Eric on the meeting?
Yes, I'm here.
So Eric, these items that you have listed, board and commission presentations, Stephen Fish, AHM capital request, is that on our agenda? I didn't see that.
It
am I doing
was not because Mr. Fish approached me Friday afternoon of last week. So it was past when it could be on the agenda.
Okay, so all of these items need to be added then.
Correct.
All right, so I'm going to add 4I, Stephen Fish, AHM capital request for HVAC repairs. 4II, Planning and Zoning Chair Judd Larson, who I don't know if he's on this meeting, to talk about affordable housing plan meeting with Board of Selectmen. Is Jed on the call?
I don't see him.
I do not see them.
So we don't need to add that one. 6II, set a date for a special meeting for Charter Revision Commission.
That may not be necessary if you're happy with the applicant pool that you've received.
Okay.
When I sent this to you, we only had 2 applicants.
Well, we're doing 6 still though, right?
We're doing 6, but do we need 6II? No. Okay,
No,
we'll leave that
no, we
one.
don't. No.
All right. So we're gonna do, and do we have 10J Community Center RFP for design build needs to be added?
Yeah, Adrian wanted to talk about that. And that's for the
10K.
community center.
Yeah, 10K authorized Yukon energy benchmarking study. And I think that's an L, 10L, town personnel policy. So does anyone have anything else they want to add to this agenda?
Well, Eric, was there something to add for Jerry's position, the veterans?
That is already on the agenda.
That's already on. the
There's
agenda.
nothing you need to add to the agenda to discuss that.
Okay.
Okay.
That is item 10G on the current agenda.
All right. Does anyone want to add anything else to the agenda?
Jeff,
Yeah. Dennis?
Dennis O'Brien. I just wanted to interject myself to say that the charter revision, you just took out 6A III. Now that is where I thought you would address the resolution that I drafted and is in the packet. I think it's page 14. Board of Selectmen agenda item recharter revision.
We're not taking that out, Ron. We're not taking that out.
No, Eric had added, was going to add a separate item.
Okay.
We're not taking out 6. He was going to, there was a request potentially to add, set a date for a special meeting for a charter revision commission, because we're not going to include that extra item, but we're not deleting 6. No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that in the event you do appoint the commission, that you also take the opportunity to, state whether there's any issues that the Board of Selectmen wants to be considered, and also to determine the date on which the draft report of the commission is due, because you're working with a real short time frame.
Okay.
I have all that information, Jeff.
No problem.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dennis. All right. There is one last thing that I would like to add, and let's put that under 10M, and it'll be very quick. Request to sign an agreement for Connecticut. Eric, how do I phrase that related to the fire department? It's a radio agreement. What is that called, Eric? Just so I understand again.
It's just an agreement with the state of Connecticut and the Department of Emergency Management Services to allow the town to utilize the state, frequencies and towers.
Okay, Connecticut Emergency Management Radio. So 10M, Connecticut Emergency Management Radio System Agreement. So I'll go through them quick, and then if we can just have a second. So 4I, Stephen Fish, AHM capital request for HVAC repairs. 4I, we're not going to do that one. 10J, Community Center RFP for design build. 10K, authorize Yukon energy benchmarking study. 10L, town personnel policy. 10M, Connecticut Emergency Management Radio Agreement. Anybody have anything else they want to add?
I'll second that.
Okay, Scott is seconding that. All those in favor? Aye.
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 All right. All those opposed? No. All right, we'll move on. So we're going to go to board and commission presentations. And we are going to start with 4I, Stephen Fish, AHM capital request for HVAC repairs. Mr. Fish.
Okay. Well, I just want to start off by saying thank you for giving me the time here tonight. And I want to thank Eric for having me added to the agenda. I know at a very, very late notice. I was there, I think it was just last Friday, Eric, or Thursday. And I came in and I talked with Eric about a situation that occurred at AHM about 2 months ago where we had a failure in our building up there in Hebron. And just so you know, I'm going to start off by saying actually this. I'm wearing my hat right now as president of the board of directors at AHM, but I'm also Longtime resident of Andover. I'm also a taxpayer. And so I'm understanding what's going on as far as budget is concerned and where we are and how late we are in the budget, in the approval process right now. So getting here tonight to explain to you some things that have happened up there and some potential cost savings actually in the long run relative to the heating and cooling and the electrical costs for the building at AHM is what the main purpose of my my little presentation here tonight. So about 2 months ago, we had a failure of the HVAC system. Primarily, though, it was the water coil in the second floor of the building, which caused tremendous amount of damage to the building itself. We lost the kitchen area, the ladies' room up there, the main part of the main meeting room where we have concerts and different kinds of events. Some of you have been there before. That is being repaired at the present time. It was covered somewhat under our insurance. So the cost of that damage and what happened there with the pumps that went, that has been covered right now with some of our costs and with insurance. But what it did for us, it actually had us bring in, and what we thought we would be good to do at this point was to have a independent analysis done of the building at the present time. Many of these systems are 15 years and older, 20, 25 years and older. And so we wanted to have an analysis done of the HVAC system and also at the same time, see if we could take advantage of some of the energy credits and some of the programs that are out there right now to save electrical costs, perhaps propane costs or gas costs as it was up there at AHM. So we had a proposal and we asked around primarily in the town of Hebron. They deal with and had very good luck with a company called Environmental Systems Corporation, or ESC. And they've done quite a bit of work in municipalities, and they also have a very strong relationship with Eversource and know how to get some of the tax and energy credits that are available at the present time. ESC came in and did a complete review of our system after the repairs were made, and what they've come up with is two things that we really feel strongly we should get done. One was a high efficiency lighting proposal, where they would switch all of our lighting over in the building, which is pretty substantial, office areas, the meeting areas, and some of the larger group gathering areas to LED. That cost alone was $19,067 with a $2,750 credit applied to that. So it would be actually total cost would be $16,317. The other main piece was the replacement of the furnaces that we have in there, which are now been rated at roughly about 80%, 75 to 80% efficiency with 4 new high efficiency heat pumps. The cost for those heat pumps and then tied into our new system or into the existing system was going to be $99,459. So between the two of those items, the total cost was going to be, or is, where's my bottom line here? Well, it was $109,000 is the total cost for that. But here's what brought me to the meeting here tonight. This is not an ask for $109,000, not even close. What occurred at our board meeting and what happened just before our board meeting last week is that I did hear, and as this information was going around town in Hebron itself, is that the Hebron Board of Selectmen, I believe it was the Board of Selectmen, actually put in for a $55,000 line item from the relief funds that have been coming to the towns to be placed and put in place for this particular project as a part of their buy-in to this. They realize that the building is in Hebron, even though this is a regional building, it's a regional organization. But that was something that they did, and this was out without us asking them to do such a thing. The main reason I'm here, though, is that because of that, it was requested that we make an effort to talk to the other two participating towns, Marlborough, obviously, and Andover, to see if there was any way to have those towns apply some funds toward this major capital project. So at the present time, we're looking and seeking some kind of funding. I'm not suggesting any level of funding. I realize where we are with the capital funds here in town, and I understand some of the plans that are being made and for the use for those funds, and we're very late in the process. But I wanted to make sure that at least the ask was made. I think that would look good to the town of Hebron. They're going to go before their town, and it's going to go to referendum, and it will be a question on their when they go to referendum for that amount of money. As far as I know, Marlborough has also been approached, and they are seeking and looking for potential some funds that they could put toward the project too. Here's why it's very important that we ask for these funds. $109,000 would completely wipe out our capital fund in our budget. In fact, we couldn't do it. It actually exceeds what we have for capital. The reason that's so critical is that when we do apply for grants, the applications often look at our full budgets, and they want to see that you have enough money in your capital funds in order to sustain your building and the surrounding area around it. So we cannot wipe that out. And so one of the things we're also doing, besides asking the towns at this stage of the game, is that we are also going out there for grants. And we did have Joe Courtney come by the building. We talked to him recently, and he has, you might be aware, there are some community grants that they're coming through Joe Courtney's office. And we are going to be putting in a grant for roughly $55,000 with that particular grant. That's going to be at the low end of the ask and the range for those grants. So we're hoping that we're competitive, but I've heard those grants are extremely competitive. So we're not holding our breath on that. So the bottom line is, if Hebron comes through, and if they pass that amount of money on to us, if we can get some funds from Andover and Marlborough, AHM is itself prepared to put in the difference for whatever may be needed to get the job done. Worst case scenario for us is that we get the grant from Courtney, let's say Marlborough turns theirs down. We don't get 55 from Marlborough. We don't have anything from Andover or Columbia. We would get the grant from perhaps the Courtney office, and then we would be prepared to put the additional 55 in from AHM, which would cut our capital way in half and probably push some things off somewhat into the future. The other thing I wanted to mention to you is that there are some significant cost savings because of these upgrades, and the payback has been calculated. I don't know if you want to go into any of that, but there is a savings for taxpayers in the long run because our operating costs would be reduced. Gas would be reduced. We know that for a fact based on the figures we got, and also our electrical costs would be reduced. It's pretty substantial.
Okay, Stephen, just as a quick question, what is Andover's percentage of the AHM budget, just so we understand that?
I think right now the percentages, I may be wrong, but I think it's about 17%.
17%.
But you're looking for an equal number from each town?
No, not necessarily. No. To be honest with you, and as I was saying to Eric when I went and saw him, and when I heard this the other day or before our board meeting last week, I'm not quite sure how the 55 figure came up from Marlborough. I'm not sure how they came up with that figure.
What's the total amount that you need?
Pardon me?
You need 109 total?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 109 is the total, correct.
I thought you said that the contribution, the $55,000 was from Hebron.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I said Marlboro. I meant Hebron. Yes, I'm sorry. That's my
So
mistake.
Marlboro has not committed any money.
No.
Columbia has not committed any money. Andover has not committed any money. This is
Correct.
just a request to sit there and see what we can do. So if you had this, if I'm understanding what you said, you would take grant funding from Courtney's office plus the $55,000 for Hebron, and you're looking to cover whatever potentially could remain.
Correct. If we get the grant from Courtney's office, which I think is, we're saying that we don't think we have much of a chance for that. It's very,
Now,
very
why do you
competitive.
say that, given the legislature's insane push? I mean, I don't say insane as in a bad way, but I mean insane as in like they have just been rallying for regionalization on everything.
I know.
This is a perfect example of regionalization. And if anybody should understand that more than anyone, it's Courtney. He needs to push this as, you know, we need to get all of our reps on board and say, hey, listen, this is exactly what you guys are talking about, regionalization. If you don't give us the grant, you're not really telling us that you support this as much as you say you do. Put your money where your mouth is, you know?
So, did
Embarrass
Jerry
them.
Wright, did Jerry Wright leave us? We need to, Jerry,
No, there's Jerry.
Jerry, reach out to your friend, Mr. Courtney, and help AHM get this grant. Can you do that for us? We'd greatly appreciate your efforts on that. So I would sit there and go, Steve, you should get with Jerry Wright, and just so you can understand Representative Courtney's office. Jerry has a very good relationship with that office, and
I can't say I disagree with anything that Adrian said, or what the approach is here. I don't know precisely how that grant is being submitted into and what the review process is. I mean, if Courtney could help us with this, I mean, I agree with Adrian. This is a regional. We couldn't be more regional than what AHM is.
Right.
What's the name of that grant, Steve?
Pardon me?
What's the name of the grant?
Oh boy, I don't know. You know what? I will get a hold of you on. I don't know if I have the exact name of it here.
That Linda peeking her head in from the side. Hi, Linda.
Hi.
So just as a general sense, I mean, I'm assuming that the real ask and what Hebron is really trying to say to us is use some of our funding to sit there and help assist in this program, our federal funding. And I know our use of that funding is related to our community center. I'm not sure if there'll be any of that available. But
No,
when
I
is this
understand.
all required? When is this all required to?
Well, the proposal we have in front of us, Jeff, is good for 60 days at the present time.
You're not
We're
going to know
full-
on grants for a while, though.
Yeah, well, they said they were going to turn the grants around, and we may not know about that grant. And if that's the case, we're going to be stuck with probably having to take a short-term loan of some sort until the grant comes in, if we receive it. But the funds may, and that's another issue here that came up. The funds may not be received. Even if we get the grant, we may not receive those funds for several months.
Okay, but the reality is you have money in your capital fund. You could use your money in your capital fund.
Correct.
And then we as a board and we as a community could determine how to refund and to build back up your capital fund after the fact. Right? I mean, that's how I would look at this right now.
Yeah, I would agree with Jeff on that, Steve.
You know, we're not in a position tonight to sit there and make a commitment to this. I mean, this is the first that is being brought up to the board. So
no, and Jeff, just so you know, and I said this to Eric, I fully understand that. I didn't come here tonight to, you know, hey, can you give us 15 grand or 5,000 or whatever? That wasn't the point.
Steve,
I just wanted to make the ask based upon what I was asked to do. And again, I'm wearing several hats here, so I fully understand.
Sure. Steve, can I ask a couple quick questions? What's Hebron's percentage of the usage?
Of what? Of AHM itself?
Yeah, of AHM, yeah.
Oh, geez.
Because they're throwing in 55. Are they basically trying to match up their percentage?
They probably did. I think I should have had those figures. I don't have my budget stuff in front of me here. I think their figure is somewhere, I got to remember, they're about, they got to be in the 40%, 35 to 40% range, something like that, 30.
So they're
30%.
probably hitting their number out of the 109.
I believe that's probably it, Adrian. Yeah.
So they're probably looking for 18 grand from us, give or take, to match up if we were to go that route. My question is, you said that it's a Hebron building, correct?
The building's in Hebron.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Who
the
owns
thought is AHM, of course, is a regional agency, really. I mean,
Okay.
Who owns the
Wait
building?
a second,
Steve?
wait a second. Can I ask this, Stephen? We're not making the decision tonight. Is it possible that you could sit there and Adrian, we can come up with a list of questions to sit there and have available for him so we get all our answers in one email or one letter?
My two quick questions are, who owns the building? And do we
Hebron.
pay to lease the building?
well, AHM owns the building.
They own it outright. Okay.
They own it outright.
Okay.
Correct. It's not owned by no one has a ownership other than AHM.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're not paying to fix a building that's owned by another town. That's all.
You bet. You bet. No, we own that outright.
Okay.
And then the percentages from all the communities, and I know Eric has that. We should get that at some point.
Well, it's pretty obvious they're pretty much trying to hit, it looks like, their percentage of it on a split.
Okay.
But until we know what the.
I do have those percentages, by the way.
Yep.
So it's 16.78% for Andover, that's 17%.
Yep.
Hebron, 49.8.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
That's what they're talking about.
Yeah, they're taking their split of it. So I guess, I mean, I would be supportive if you come back to us and say you got a grant, we need to come up with a difference. But until we know what that grant number is, I don't know that anyone's going to want to commit.
Yeah, I get it.
And one thing to add, keep in mind that the Congress goes into summer recess about June and doesn't come back till September. So if any grant money is going to be put in or any grant for Courtney, it's got to be given to him before June. You're not going to see it until October, November, if you're lucky.
Yeah, the grant is being, is it Jerry?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, Jerry. But the grant is being prepared this week. It's going to be going in. I mean, they're working on that right now diligently. But you're right. I know this is very, very tight timeline on all of this.
I talked to Congressman Courtney this morning. They're all home on Easter recess. I don't expect them to be going back for another week or better.
Yeah.
And we'll encourage our Democratic first selectmen to reach out as well. Right, Jeff?
Perfect. I'll actually call Courtney. Yes, absolutely. I'll do it with Jerry on the phone. I know what I'm doing, right, Jerry? I know if you talk to him
Holler
this
at me when
morning,
you walk by the road down there. I'll come down and what's that?
that's right. We'll get on the phone.
That would be awesome. I really appreciate that kind of work behind the scenes is terrific. Joe's been there. He was there probably about a month or so, a couple of months ago.
Try to reach out to Robin Green
with,
too.
With the Veterans Base Camp in Chaplin, and if they'd have went through and put their grant money in 9 months ago, we could have saved that little facility, but they didn't. It takes the wheels in Congress more than a month or two to appropriate money for such things. It takes months and months and months.
So Steve, we'll participate in this and we'll help out. We obviously want to get all the information so that we're contributing what needs to be contributed, not a significant amount more than is required. So, but anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the time. Unless anyone has any other questions.
Well, thank you very much for the time. I appreciate it, Jeff. And
Steve, can you pitch us the payback figures? Can you send that via email?
Yeah, I'll have all those figures for you. I mean, I got a bunch of notes here. I think I would have gone crazy trying to pick all this stuff out, but what I'll do is I'll get an email out to all of you. Just let me know.
That'd be helpful when we're talking to Courtney and Robin Green and others. So
absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Send that to me too.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
And I'll Eric, I'll contact you to get names and addresses and all that stuff, I guess.
Certainly.
Very good. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay.
We're going to move on to item 5, Public Works, the current 2022 roadwork plan. Jay Tuttle is on the phone. Jay, on the phone.
Jay Tuttle is on the Zoom
meeting. On
Good
Zoom
evening.
meeting.
Can't you recognize him in the plaid? It's like his uniform.
I saw him.
Yeah. Still,
could I miss?
still rocking the warm shirt.
There you go. That means you got the heat off down there. We appreciate that. Save the money.
We try. We do our best. Okay, so road work. What would you guys like to know? Did you get the? Let's see. I can share my screen here. So did you guys see? Did the Board of Selectmen see the letter that I sent to BOF? Is that what we're referring to the Board of Finance?
No, we're not the
Yes.
BOF, so.
They did all get that in their packets. It's in their packets.
Okay.
So Jay,
Oh,
if you could talk, Jay, if you could talk to it and just share your screen and talk to it, it'd be great. So we can give.
Yeah. Well, it says I'm disabled participant screen sharing.
Eric, you're gonna have to make him the host.
Or if Eric has it, can you put it up, Eric?
It says multiple screen participants can share screen simultaneously, so you should be able to share.
All right, share the little green arrow at the bottom.
Well, I mean, do we
Oh,
want to?
there it is. Okay.
Do we want to just get to specifics? Jeff Murray had some very specific questions. Can we just maybe address those instead of going through the whole thing?
I think I got it here, if this is it. Are you seeing it?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so the road improvement request. So we have planned this year approximately 8 miles. Starting with, now this is separate from, are we discussing separate from the full depth reclamation of Shoddy and Long Hill? We're just talking about preservation. Is that what you guys are interested in?
Jeff?
Well, Jay, I just want to know, is Hendy actually good for preservation, or do we need to reclaim and repave that whole road? I mean, it's got that section above Pine Ridge Drive going up the hill, that left-hand turn.
Yep.
Gotten really bad. I mean, the roadway's gone completely.
Yep. Yep.
Well,
And we need to address it. It's getting to the point where if we get a major rain event like we had last year, we could lose a section of that road. So
isn't the problem, Jay, though, that we've got to do drainage over there before we do a major reclaim?
Yeah, so much of the discussions that Eric and I have been having since I came on board, and as you guys know, most of this stuff is budget driven. And there's so many roads that need attention. Everything needs attention all at once. Last year, I don't know how many people actually drove the area prior to having the work done. I mean, we can look at what Bunker Hill was like. We had parts of roads missing on Basola, almost 3/4 of the road was missing in a section on Rockledge. I mean, a lot of roads, and there was a lot of repairs. And Shimmin, in the way that there's no perfect system, and Shimmin in the way that I'll say the way that I'm accustomed to. It's patch, and it'll last quite a while done this way. We'll overlay it, seal it up with chip seal, and it's going to buy you 6-7 years before it needs to be done again, and it'll give time to put in place a plan where you're doing preservation along with what are the roads you're going to start doing full depth reclamation, full reconstruction. A lot of these roads, they need drainage work done. And just to tackle them and do drainage work is going to be require quite a bit of effort, never mind the funding. So I guess the answer to your question, Jeff, yeah, Hendy is in pretty bad shape. So is Wheeling, so is Bear Swamp. And we can patch that up and level it off, put some shape back into the road, and make it last quite a while. Is it perfect? No, it's about the most inexpensive way you can hold that road together for a time until such time that you can put some money into it to do your reconstruction on those roads. And they're going to have to be planned. I mean, you're talking just a full depth reclamation without any drainage. You know, we're at $150,000 a mile.
More than that.
How much would Hendy cost if we did that?
I mean, Jay, I understand, but it's just, that road has been heavily used in the last 5 to 10 years. It's just, it's getting to the point that's.
Yep.
Yeah, but the problem is, I'll be candid, I don't want to spend money trying to do a full reclaim until the drainage is fixed, because otherwise you're just throwing good money after bad.
And I agree with that. I agree with that, Adrian, 100%.
Okay.
Okay, but
in one
all right, the point is though, can we get a number as to if we did all of Long Hill? Give me an estimate of all of Long Hill. All right, sorry, all of Hendy. I'm sorry.
But Hendy wasn't even the worst. I mean, I understand Hendy's bad.
No,
all of
the
the all of
question,
these
Jeff
roads.
Murray is asking a question about Hendy Road, and I want to understand the total dollars that would be required.
It'll probably
Yes,
take
yeah.
all your budget for the year on
Yeah,
one road.
it's a significant repair, and the whole right-hand side as you go up the hill. I mean, the
Needs
roadway's
drainage.
the roadway's gone. I mean,
It's
it's just
completely
gone.
gone.
No, I
And the
understand.
roads-
I understand. Get it?
So let's- all right, let's-
Jay is telling us it would take our entire budget
Yeah.
to do Hendy. That would mean we would do no maintenance and no other work on any other road in town.
No, so can we ask the next question? I think the more pertinent question is, you obviously have a schedule for all of these roads, Jay.
Yep.
And you have our current request that you're asking for here. My concern in looking at this is, have you actually sat there and figured out how much you can get done in-house to cover this stuff? Because like, I see 50K for flex beam. Are we subbing that out to Eagle Fence or somebody like that, or Triple
Yeah.
A Fence?
Yep.
So, because I'm
all
worried.
this-
Go ahead.
All this stuff that's on there right now, the 50K for the flex beam, the catch basin cleaning, it's all outside contractors. The only
Okay.
thing that we're doing in those particular line items is we're doing the any prep work, sweeping, scraping the edges, cleaning
where's-
things up, making it ready for the contractors to do their work.
Are you
We're sup-
done with drainage on Shoddy Mill and Long Hill?
No, definitely not. We
So
got to.
you still have to get that done before you cycle into this.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, have you taken the time to sit down and figure out your schedule to get through these roads that we're preserving now and turn that preservation into the paving schedule after the fact? Do we have enough time to get to these roads as the second, for the second sweep where we go to the permanent repair versus the patch? That's the question.
It's years out right now.
But have you done a schedule like that and say, we're going to do this road this year, this road that year? Have you actually worked out a schedule?
No, I have not.
So we don't even know if we're going to get back to these.
I haven't
do
had
the
that
finish.
time to do that. So I want to back up to what we did last year. And Jeff, I don't know how much all you guys live here in town.
We do.
Bunker Hill, the bottom side was a mess. Was it busted up as bad as Hendy in spots? No. Did it have deep wheel ruts and did we put a lot of material on it? Most certainly. And I ended up on that particular road. We did a full single chip up to house number 120 or 121. And from house number 121 to the town line, that's where most of the shimming was done. We did a double chip on top of that. Is it Woodfern that's off of Lakeview? So we had a section on
Woodfern is my street. It's up
or
off of-
Woodside. Okay, Woodside off of Lakeview. We did a double chip on that. There was a section, I mean, granted, it was a short road, but there was a section just before the last 3 houses at the end. The road was gone curb to curb.
So where are you
So
getting
we,
to?
we
on with
shim
it?
that. So saying where road is gone, we can patch those areas and then put chip seal, and that's what we're doing right now. We're trying to do a preservation. That's what we're budgeted for. And in order to spread our dollars so we can cover all these roads, the bad ones, and pretty much all the roads need attention. Yeah, we're going to put a little bit more pavement into some of the real bad ones. So those areas where the road is gone, we're going to put a little bit more material there because that's where it needs it. And we're going to put some shape back into the road, and that's what the chip seal is going to seal it up for a while.
Okay.
And any money that we put into those roads doing the preservation, it's not lost money. So that material is going to go back into the base when it gets reclaimed. The biggest problem with all these roads is, number one, yeah, there's a lot of deferred work, but the base of these roads is horrendous. There isn't a consistent material in the roads, so we have problems with frost heaves. Some areas where they've had construction or partial drainage repair, they've put good material in the road where there's bad material. So you get different frost levels of movement of the road. There's a section on Lake Road. I had no idea how bad it was, what kind of materials in the roads right there by just before you get to Ardoni. That road heaved like holy mackerel. It was crazy. There was a crater in the middle of the road and the only reason why it was a crater is because what was in the ground stayed and the road around it moved. And it settled back in again.
Jay,
like all the other places.
Look, I think that I personally want to hear from you 2 things: that you have a handle on how much this crew right now, as it stands, can handle.
Yep.
In a given year, and that you've scheduled as much work as they can handle in a given year. And I understand last year was an outlier because we dumped a lot of time into the bridge. But I have to tell you, the residents are going to want to hear that we're getting some stuff done this year. Because, listen, we went to bat with you. You have the excavator now in-house. You're not worried about going out and renting it, but people want to see that thing getting to work, so.
We have got everything scheduled that we can do this year. Right now, we're over on Lake Road getting that parking lot done so we can move on to the drainage on Shoddy and Shoddy. We got to get Shoddy done.
Jay,
And when are we going to Shoddy?
I have a question, Adrian.
Go
Jay.
for it, Scott.
Jay, is the end of Long Hill by Skinner and that corner on Hendy the worst road in sections of roads in Andover?
Hendy,
That
Long
corner.
Hill, Skinner, Wheeling, Bear Swamp, that whole circle.
Okay, so I would
if you
expect
want to
that.
talk about main roads, I call them throughways. it's
Hendy is
Long
not,
Hill,
there's no more
Hendy.
main road than there's no more main road than Hendy. That's
Right. What I'm saying is Hendy, Skinner, and Long Hill.
Right.
Bear Swamp and Whaling, those aren't really through roads. They're just roads to neighborhoods.
So here's my point. I mean, if those we're here and we know that those are the worst roads now, those should definitely get fixed this season, I would think, right?
They're on the list. We're going to do a preservation on them. And keep in mind, Woodfern, Dogwood, Shadblow, and Old Farms are at the bottom of the list right now. And when we get into doing Hendy, we'll start on Hendy, but Hendy to Long Hill, Skinner, we're going to do those roads first, and Bear Swamp and Wheeling will come next. But if there's cuts to be made because of cost, because of asphalt's gone up tremendously since we're pushing $90-$95 a ton right now.
We're what, 65, 70 last year?
75 last year. So, you know, who knows what fuel costs? Maybe, hopefully they're coming down and maybe they'll settle out a little bit. I don't know. But right now, like I said, they're $95 a ton. So depending on how much asphalt we use is going to be a driving force as to, do we continue and, you know, prep some of these smaller roads that, you know, I may have to cut back on chip seal to cover the cost of the added asphalt.
And Jay, I totally agree with you on that assessment. I think that's good that we're prioritizing the worst roads right now that we have in that area. I think that's what I really wanted to hear, and to make sure that, so is there any way we can just kind of touch base every, you know, week or I mean, every month or so, just make sure we're on track? Because I don't want to make sure we don't fall in the same trap that we got into last year with Shoddy and Long Hill. You know, I just want to make sure that we address these, and if we have to bring in some contractors or do what we have to do, then I just want to make sure this gets taken care of. That's all. Because I mean, the roadway's terrible. I mean, it's gotten bad.
It's
Yeah,
not
but
about bringing
it's-
in contractors though, is it? I mean, it's really about whether we're gonna have, I mean, we'll get those top 4 done. We just may not get to the bottom 4. Right?
Yeah,
It's
and
becoming a
that's
money-
that's all going to be cost driven, or, you know, it's budget driven because of what we're going to have to do to those roads to get them into some shape to make them last for a little while.
Can I ask a question about decision making though? I do have a question with regards to why we're playing with the parking lot instead of over getting Shoddy ready.
Because we're making that ready for the whatever's going at the building next door. So the crosswalk and just is ready for when they put in their driveway and they have an area for the connectivity, so they know where things are going to line up. So in the time that we're spending over there, we're just doing the main part right now. We're not doing the lower section where
That building isn't
horse
even
trailers.
through the process yet, is it?
No, it's not.
So if the
No,
building's
only gone
not through,
through
if the
Two
building's
meetings
not
in
through the,
planning and zoning.
if the building isn't even approved yet, right? But we know we've got a grant and we've got an issue over on Shoddy that should have been finished last year, but we got sidetracked. Why did we not go do Shoddy first?
It's also been a little weather driven for that, and we're going to spend a couple of days over there and we're done and get out of there.
Okay.
So it's one of those that have an opportunity to get it done. It's on the list. Just try to knock out some of these smaller things and get over there, because we're going to be we're going to be over on Shoddy for the rest of the summer.
Well, I mean, your actual work isn't though, is it? I mean, your stuff's got to get done first and then it'll get turned over to a contractor, right?
What stuff?
Or are you guys working on Shoddy literally yourselves the rest of the summer?
Yeah, Shoddy is just for our department.
Okay, because I thought
As far as this road work, we got a little bit more scraping to do that we gotta get done, and we can fit that in with anything that's going on over Shoddy. But you know, we've got most of the scrapings done that we need to get done, and those guys are going to be over there. And if we're not able to dedicate a 3-man crew all the time, there'll be a 2-man crew over there, and we'll hit the other jobs as we go along. But I've got to concentrate on this list here for these contractors coming in.
Well, hopefully you'll get, this budget will go through and you'll get another person and that will help a little bit. But, you know, I just want to make sure we're making good decisions about where our people are going and why. That's all, you know. And I'm not questioning your decision in the sense of saying it's wrong. I'm questioning in the sense of saying, I think residents and we need that update like Jeff is talking about on a monthly basis, so that you're coming back to us and say, hey, we're still on track. And maybe midsummer, you have to come back and say, hey, I had to cut 2 roads off the list. We're just not going to make it financially, whatever. But we need to know that as it happens, not at the end.
Yeah, and to piggyback what Adrian just said, is there any way we can put a schedule together, like when we're planning to do these roads? Is there any way you can put a preliminary high-level schedule together to just say, you know, look, we're planning to be here this month, during the summer,
Okay.
just so we know,
Like,
just
like Jeff said, even if it's by the month, so we say, hey, listen, we're gonna get to Old Farms in August or whatever it is, right?
Well, yeah, right now I have it planned at mid-May to the 1st of June, between those, and then those 2 weeks, that's when the paving contractor's coming in. So we
Okay.
still have sweeping to do. So when I got a couple guys over there doing drainage, we're also gonna get sweeping done in town too.
Yeah, we saw you guys started, we saw some on, Wells and whatnot, that you guys have gone through and started hitting some of the drainage, so.
Yeah, it's,
So for the residents to understand, you're basically saying that you're planning on being in May and June over on Shoddy Mill. Is that accurate?
no,
Where are you gonna be?
May, we're gonna be starting on Hendy. I'm gonna have a paving contractor in there on May. As far as Shoddy Mill is concerned, I'm planning on being over there next week.
Jay, how about you do this? How about you start putting together that list? And as we start hitting it off, Eric will check back with you and we will post on the town Facebook and on the town website where you're working and when you're going to be working, so that
Yeah,
residents can see it.
I'll talk with Eric on this. It's, give him a schedule and do my best to get you. I mean, I'm bouncing around all over the place, pitching in, doing work too. So I gotta find time to take a few extra minutes to put schedules together, but it's, as work comes, we try to knock it out. And
Okay.
we still have speed limit signs to get up, those electronic speed limit signs, and I gotta fit that in. I just got the posts the other day. We gotta go get those installed, and on rainy days, we're gonna make something, brackets, to try to get those up. So there's,
I mean, you can install signs on a rainy day. Maybe you can't be digging drainage on a rainy day,
correct. That's what I said. But I still had to go get the material.
Right.
And when it became
I don't think-
available.
I don't think we need a
there's lot of
schedule
stuff.
for signs. I think we need a schedule for major roadwork so residents can A, expect it, B, know what's happening, and C, know where their dollars are going. That's all we're looking for.
Okay.
Please.
Yep.
We're just trying to have people appreciate you as much as we do.
It's I just run out of time, just a lot of
Jay,
stuff going on.
Jay, we're not trying to beat you up or anything. It's just,
we're not.
Because
No, I understand.
we're just trying to get ahead of the
gotta
curve
put it-
here. We're trying to get ahead of the curve a little bit.
And Jay, keep in mind, we're trying to get a budget pass to get you more help, and we're trying to get dollars to you. And in order to do that, residents need to know, they need to hear, even if they're not on that road, they see a post, they hear from their friend, oh, they're over there today. Or, those things are important.
Yeah.
It
All
gets
right,
you
do
the
we have
support that you need.
any other questions for Jay?
I do
Before we
not.
let him go?
Good.
Jay, if you could stop sharing your screen.
Oh, sorry about that.
No problem.
Stop share. How's that?
That's good. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. We're going to go to 6 appointments. Charter Revision Commission. We've received application, appoint members, and discuss structure of commission. Scott?
Right, we do you want to read this whole, Eric, does this whole thing, Charter Revision Commission, appointments, other resolutions, that has to be read?
Well, so the first thing you have to do is you've gotten the applications. So you've got to decide to appoint whether you want to appoint those members or whether you want to appoint different members or you want to do something. And then after that, you have to give instructions to the newly formed commission that you just appointed, what the structure was going to be, what you want them to do.
Scott,
Okay,
to start with, why don't you just tell us how many letters have we received?
We got 5.
Can you give us the 5 names that you have currently?
Right. Carol Lee, Pat Billings, Karen Madore, Don Denley, and George Knox.
You fit within the, I believe there's restrictions on party affiliation.
Yep, it's
Yeah,
all,
he's-
that's all fine.
Republicans are underrepresented and independents are overrepresented and Democrats are on there too.
And that's all right. It could be 4-1.
So you got Carol Lee, Pat Billings, George Knox, Don Denley, and who's the other one?
Karen Madore.
Karen Madore. And for the sake of, can we just know what their affiliation is so that we all understand that we are meeting that requirement?
Carol,
Don Denley is a Republican, Carol Lee is unaffiliated, Pat Billings is a Democrat, George Knox is a Democrat, Karen Madore is a Democrat.
Okay. You good with that, Mr. McGuire?
Good with the Democrats.
Okay. I will say openly, I do have a concern with Don Denley in that we appointed him to the community center committee and he did not participate, but for like 1 or 2 meetings. So. I do have some.
I'll second Adrian's concern about that. I saw Don maybe once, so I don't know if he'll show up for this, but
that was yeah.
We need participation.
Did you talk to him? Has anyone talked to him?
I talked to him at length, Adrian. Yep.
And did you bring were you aware of that concern might have come up?
I was concerned about that. Yeah.
And what was his response?
He's going to try to make it to all the meetings. He wants to do this.
No. Paula, Jeff.
Jeff, can I chime in on this, Jeff?
Sure, go ahead, Dennis.
Well, you have to be careful with your appointments because not in terms of who they are, but in terms of the political party and also whether or not they are currently serving in another position with the town, any kind of position, even a justice of the peace. Okay, I sat on a commission once that sat for a year and we were disbanded after the town attorney found that we had more than our share, statutory share of public officials on the commission. From what I understand, there's only one of these people who is a public official, and that would be Carol Lee.
Exactly.
But you got to make sure you're right, because if you're wrong, it won't work.
No, we're covered as far as that. None of these people are on anything else that I don't recognize any of the names unless someone else.
Another point. Okay, Adrian, another point I want to make is I heard some concerns about one of the applicants. If you don't do this tonight, you have to get it done. You'll have to have a special meeting because you have to get it done within 30 days of the date on which you initiated the commission. That was March 24. Okay, so you'd have to have a special meeting before then to finish the empanelment of the commission. That will slow you down. You're pressed for time anyway. You've got a tight window to get this on the agenda to get this on the ballot for November.
Dennis, is there any opportunity for us, if we needed to appoint an alternate or a replacement at a later date if this person doesn't show up? I didn't see anything in the statutes myself, but
you can appoint a replacement if he or she resigns. But I don't know of any way that once you make the appointment, that you have a thing in your charter about removing appointees who don't show up, but I'm not sure that applies to charter revision. That's heavily controlled by state law.
Can we add a person? Not even replace. Can we just add someone else if they need another body to help out with the workload?
You could add a person, but you have to make sure you comply with the requirements as to political party.
Yep.
And also as to public office.
Okay. In that case, I'll support the list that you have, Scott.
Thank you, Adrian.
You could add, if you add one person, given the makeup you have now, you have 3 Democrats and 2 non-Democrats. That works.
Okay.
if you added another person, it could not be a Democrat.
Obviously. Okay,
Okay, it only can be, they can only have a bare majority of one party.
so I would make a motion then that we appoint Carol Lee, Pat Billings, George Knox, Don Denley, and is it Carolyn Midori?
Karen Madore.
Karen Midori. Karen Madore to the Charter Revision Commission.
I'll second that.
A further discussion, can we vote on them individually? I mean, I cannot stomach that.
Can I make a suggestion that since Dennis has written up the resolution for this, that you probably ought to just do it straight off the resolution?
Let me read it then.
I don't see it in the packet.
Page 14.
I have it. I'll read it. You guys ready?
Go ahead.
Just don't, it says March 14th in there, 3 times. That's an error. That's March, it should be March 24th if you're going to read it aloud. That's when you initiated the commission. You had a special meeting.
So do we have to vote on Adrian's motion, or DJ Sky, you could just amend it, correct?
Well, you had, you're right. There's a motion on the floor.
So you would have to amend it.
You can amend the motion to have the individual vote.
I still don't see that in the packet.
Well,
It might be page 15.
we can amend the motion.
So
You can
14 is the resolution that needs to be signed. That's not the motion, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas,
That's the motion.
yeah.
That's the
Resolved.
holy cow.
Hey, I think it's pretty good myself, but in any event,
I'm just glad we're not paying you by the wording. Holy,
you better be glad you're not paying me by the hour.
I know.
Anyway, I'm happy though. I love working with you folks. Just one more thing. Jeff said something about he has a concern about one of the applicants. You could make a motion to vote separately on all of them, or to vote on 4 of them at once, and one of them, it would take a motion to amend. That's all.
But we need 5 members.
Tonight, we need 5.
You need 5 members.
Okay.
You need
Let's
5
go.
members.
Let's get on with it. So
All right.
let's make the motion and let's all move on.
Very
Okay,
good.
I have a question, since we're still in discussion, and I am probably the least concerned person, but I'm asking this question anyway. So we have how many Democrats?
3.
3.
3. And then the other 2 are unaffiliated, correct?
No, one's a Republicans, one unaffiliated, 1 and 1.
Okay, thank you.
But honestly, I don't know that this is a political issue. This is more just about fixing something. So
Right.
Right, and I don't want to rush into this. I know that the time is of the essence, so I'm looking at this as, I don't want to rush into it, but if we have 5 people that are willing to step forward.
we
then
can
I-
accept or reject their offerings as this commission goes forward. So if we're concerned that they drift off into territory we don't want to broach, then we simply don't accept it.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I was clear on that. Okay,
Does that alleviate some of your concern?
yeah, I didn't have any concerns, just want to make sure that was clear. So it's clear now.
Do you want us to read this whole thing, the whereas?
Why don't you just
I don't
amend
see
your-
that as
why
necessary.
don't you amend your motion to include the resolution as written?
I love that. I will amend my motion to include the resolution as written on page 14.
But Adrian, we also have to add down at the resolve section, we have to
Yep.
add 2 things
Exactly.
that you.
Okay, yeah,
are in
so we're
here.
gonna do, we are going to, as written on page 14, filling in the names Carol Lee, Pat Billings, George Knox, Don Denley, and Carolyn Midori. And including the resolved and pursuant to section, but adding to it the following. To strike from the town charter any protected positions. And to add a line to the town administrator's position, to add to the town administrator's description of requirements after bachelor's degree or life experience of equal value.
Somebody going to second that?
I'll second that.
All right. Do we have any further discussion on this motion? I have something I have to say.
Third item, consider on this same resolution, and that would be the deadline for the submission of the draft report of the commission.
It's
would
currently
recommend-
listed as July 11th, 2022,
Correct.
as written on page 14.
On or before, on or before.
On or
You have a
before.
meeting, why I chose that date.
Yep. You had something to add, Mr. McGuire.
My Republican friends have to do better. I'm just telling you. You have to be able to do better.
We're putting 3 Democrats on this. So much better do you want us to do?
I am not talking about the Democrats.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but unfortunately, all of our Republican friends are serving on things, so they're stricken from this opportunity. Apparently, more Democrats are available than Republicans because they're not on as many things. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. And honestly, that's not a fair statement. The Democrats in town do a ton of work. It's just that we just don't have the depth that you guys do on the bench, I
Yeah,
guess.
come on, man. Listen, you know what I am saying without me trying to be.
I know, but can we get a point of order and just vote on the motion as it's on the table now? I don't think this is a political issue. This is just,
No, this is not.
We need to revise the charter.
Yeah, Jeff,
We have 5 people willing to serve.
Far
Let's
from
just do
political.
it.
Far from political. This is not about the Republican Party, please.
I know, but Jeff, you said it was Republicans. It's
the person that is being put up. I have a tremendous problem. I don't know if you remember way back when. No. Okay.
I do remember.
Let's vote on this.
Let's vote. Let's call it to vote.
All right. All those in favor?
Scott has waving his hand.
Go ahead, Scott.
No, I'm voting.
Oh, geez. Okay. All the vote. I'm so sorry, Scott.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Really hard.
I know it's
Really,
going to hurt. I know it's
really,
going to hurt, Jeff.
Really hard.
But it's for the betterment of the town.
And I am flat out telling you, my wife will not forgive me, but I will vote in favor of this.
Just, you're voting for the 3 Democrats. How's that?
I'm voting for Scott.
Thank you,
Agreed.
Jeff.
We're all voting for Scott.
Yes.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Paula. Thank you, Jeff Murray.
All right.
Moving on.
You're welcome,
Yeah.
Mr. Busan.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Let's look for an alternate please, everyone, put your ear out there. We need a Republican alternate.
Maybe Adrian might have an alternate.
I'm
Okay.
working on it.
Resignation.
You can't have an alternate. You can't have an alternate. You can add a member, a full member.
A possible
alternate.
addition. A possible addition.
No,
Listen, the
Okay,
hope
just
is
start-
that this is moved forward quickly, right?
Right.
So we won't have any reason to have an alternate.
Yep.
So we're moving on to item 7, resignations. I don't believe there are any, Eric.
Not that I know of.
All right, 8, town administrators report. Eric.
You all have a copy of my report. Do you have any questions on it?
Do you have anything that you would like to tell us or apprise us of issues? I read your report. Just want to know if there's anything that you want to bring to the board's attention as a whole.
No, not at this time. Pretty much all the stuff I think we should be going over is on the agenda.
Okay. Does anyone on the board have any questions for Eric?
Scott, you had a question. Hang on, I gotta look for it. Didn't you
Apologize.
want to know the thank you about the thank you letters to the Veterans Memorial benefactors?
Right, yep. And Eric said that he had gotten them out. And the reason that we didn't know about it is because we didn't have to sign them.
Okay.
Eric did it without our signatures, which I thought we requested, but I hadn't seen them and I did not know that they were sent out, so.
Eric, I did not get a chance to read your report, but we did have the meeting with Marina last week for the other board members that were not there. And we're moving forward on that stuff. We have a copy of the job description from some surrounding towns. We're working on that with Eric. And Diane Charquette's pitching in to try to come up with a job description for the replacement for the treasurer. Eric, did you get a chance to reach out to our security guy, South Windsor yet?
I did.
Or he was getting
So
back to
David
you.
Nix and Lance, who's the network administrator, were in here on Friday.
Okay.
We had talked it over with the Andover, the school's IT people, with the intention of being able to directly port from the two computers in the finance office, bypassing the firewall and have a direct connection to where the program is stored on their server.
What about your computer?
What?
What
Yeah,
about your
I
computer?
mean, once it's in the building, we'll be able to do all computers. He knows mine is on the list to get that also. The problem came up is that because we have a different subdomain with CEN. We call our domains the same. We have the same naming convention as the
Oh,
school.
yep.
So the school has to do some additional steps now that are in the works, but that should be able to be made seamlessly so it works fine from these computers here.
And that's been currently communicated to whoever it needs to over the school, whether it's Val or their tech person.
Yes, that's been communicated directly to their tech person.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're moving forward.
Yep, that's on the work.
All right, Eric, I'll ask you the grant work that's being done down at the library. Can you give us an update?
So which grant? Are you talking about their ARP grant or are you talking about the connectivity grant?
Your connectivity grant.
So the connectivity grant, the contractor is currently working on the sidewalk that's going to go in front of Long Hill and then wrap around Route 6. That's the major thing they're working on at the moment.
How long is it going to take?
I think realistically, they're going to be added a couple more months, all total.
Okay. And the work up on Center Street? Timeline?
I mean, as part of the connectivity grant? Yeah, that I'm saying the project in total should be done within 2 months.
Okay. All right. Any other questions for the town administrator? Okay, move on. We are going to go to item 9, old business. Discuss and act upon the following, and we'll do 9A, renewal of tax abatements for Hop River Homes and softball field renewal. At this time, we don't have all of the information that we need to discuss this one, so I'm going to move forward on this unless someone has an issue.
What are we missing?
We have some documentation that we don't have from Hop River Homes. Okay. Anybody else?
No.
Do they know we're looking for it?
Yes.
We do.
Okay. Thank you.
So
So
what's
there's
next?
something you want beyond the letter that you got from Maria Tolman?
Yes. I
Okay.
do.
So what's the letter? What do we need besides that? Just so we're all on the same page.
We need complete documentation related to the information to support what they're telling us, and we need the lease for the ball field completed.
Okay.
All right.
So that's been handed off and we're waiting for them to get back to us.
Correct.
Dennis has been communicating with Maria Tolman, and she got half of what she needed, and we don't have the other.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. 9B, town hall upgrades. Eric?
So there's nothing really, I think at this point, we need to take a pause on that and figure out with the new building, what that's actually gonna have for an HVAC system before we commit to moving forward with changing over the town hall to propane.
Well, even if it doesn't, I mean, we're still gonna need propane for gas for the kitchen over there. So we can still throw the tank in, you know?
What?
It doesn't really change the town hall, does it?
Well, Adrian, don't we need a site plan? A finalized site plan?
Thanks.
So
There,
we're talking about putting them along that behind that retaining wall, correct?
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, we probably need a site plan first.
okay.
Approved site plan. I would hate to put the tanks in and have to move them.
Yeah, actually, I gotta work with Rob this week on adding some parking spaces or trying to figure out if we can throw in some more parking spaces. So I'll talk to him about an underground propane tank.
Yeah.
We're
You
trying
could
for
have them
1,000.
locate them, Adrian.
What?
Field locate them so that Eric can follow through the work that he wants to get done on the town hall.
Okay.
I think we're pretty good for the summer. It's just when we get into the fall months, we're probably gonna have
Yeah.
to make a decision what we're gonna do.
We're probably gonna have to put temporaries in for now. Because you're not gonna have a tank in the ground anytime soon, unless we really get rolling on it. You know? We should have a better idea, I think, as we roll into July, we should know where we're at.
Yeah, I think we can plan at that point.
You're okay with that?
I'm fine with it.
Eric, you okay with that?
Yep, I'm fine with that.
Okay, I'll follow up with the engineer this week then and try to get a tank spec'd out. We're shooting for 1,000 gallon, right?
100.
I mean, it depends what you want to do. I would have put in a minimum of 200, two 1,000 gallon tanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Let's move on to 9C. Edmunds financial software update. Eric, where are we at? Are there any changes, any information you want to share with the board?
No, I mean, the big question was, would we consider moving to a cloud solution, or can we directly port so it works functionally well from the town hall? And I think the answer is we can make it work functionally well from the town hall, and that's the approach to go with.
It's definitely the cheaper option, so.
What are you talking about right now?
Yeah, we couldn't use the software directly from the town hall. We had to do what's called remote desktop, and it made printing and doing some other things more complicated. So we're trying to do a workaround to get behind the firewall so that it functions correctly. So we do have a solution. It's in play. We're working on it.
Our admin software working now to where everybody is happy?
Almost.
Jeff McGuire?
We have work to do.
There you go.
Eric, just as a side thing, where is your motions email?
Yeah, I could.
I have
Eric,
it
when-
open. I apologize. There.
It was sent today at 1:48 p.m.
Yeah, but what I'm after is he had sent an email that we were talking about earlier about the items that we had to add.
Yep, it's on that same email. Do you want
A
me to
little-
forward it? You want me to
Down
forward it?
below that, Jeff.
Tuesday, 15th, today is the 11th. Oh my God. Wrong year. Okay, I will find it.
I have it in front of me. I can just forward it and it'll pop
Yes,
up.
you could do that.
Yep.
Okay. Actually, you don't need to. I had it open. I apologize. All right, let's move on. So we are moving down to new business in 10A fiscal year 2022-2023 proposed town budget. Wednesday, April 13th, Board of Finance budget public hearing and set a date for a townwide budget meeting. Eric? Are there any issues that you need to express to us before we move to that motion in the email?
No, Board of Finance is working away at the budget. They've scheduled a Wednesday, April 13th for the finance budget public hearing. We do need to, and this is the responsibility of the Board of Selectmen, to set a meeting date for the town-wide public budget hearing. Which I think Carol Lee has indicated should be May 4th.
Okay, I have something to add to that. So
Okay.
the DARE program is going to be outside. So there was concern about that running into time frame. So the DARE graduation is outside. It's not in the gym this year. And I don't know that will be done by 7. So just
How many kids are,
FYI.
how many kids are graduating?
It's the entire 6th grade, but they're also it's not going to take long for the graduation, but they were also doing cake and celebrating. So it might be done at 7, might not. So that's going to affect myself and maybe some other people that have kids graduating that night. So just throwing that out there, but it's not in the gym. So, and if it rains, it's the next night. So there's that.
Well, I think the problem is if we go later, we had issues when we tried to go a little later that it's too late for the seniors. So we can't say
Right.
7:30. It's got to kind of be 7.
So I think 7 would work. You know, at 6 o'clock, it's going to start. There's 20 kids. It's not going to take long. And then whoever needs to get over to the town event, they can leave early and finish their cake and get over there.
Maybe we could put the cake at the town event and combine the two.
Can we do it on Tuesday?
The
No,
3rd, not
we
enough
can't
time.
do it on Tuesday because that is the referendum for RAM. And since we use the same personnel as moderators as our registrars, they can't do both. If you wanted to do it Tuesday, it
can't
would
do it.
have to start after 8 p.m.,
No.
probably after 9 p.m.
So the answer to that is no.
Correct.
I can handle no. So
And
we have a problem on the next day with cool or with DARE program. And so if we push it out a week, Adrian, what does that do for the timeline?
Pushes everything out.
And a week later, there's a talent show. So it's just that time of year, guys. So I think you keep it on the night that DARE is there. You're not going to worry. You're not going to run into an issue with DARE in the gym because the program is outside. And the talent show is a week later. That's outside also. But it's just that time of year with events going on. RAM has their concert May 5th. So, it's just lots of stuff going on. So I would keep it.
So
I would keep it 4th.
You're having events outside because you can't use the stage?
We can use the stage. We can use the stage. It's just they're taking advantage of using the outdoor space. They used it last year. It was a very nice setting. And they're
It
going
also
to,
makes people that are still mask reluctant more comfortable. Let's
yes.
just be
So,
honest.
and
Okay.
it's nice, you know, it's nice that time of year. It's a nice setting. You have fresh air. Okay.
Okay, so let's just have it on the 4th and deal with the dare.
Make a motion.
Somebody make it. Let's go.
I can't find his motion seat, so I'll make a motion that we have our,
Oh, I'll make the motion.
you have it?
Yeah.
I can't get into the town email. It keeps telling me 50510 error. I don't know what that is.
Huh. Eric, is that the motion, the motion for to set the time and the date for the annual town meeting?
Yes.
Okay. I motion to set the annual town meeting for May 4th at 7 p.m. At the Andover Elementary School Gymnasium.
Seconded.
All right, further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 Okay.
Next question.
Call the
Since
vote.
you- I'm sorry, I thought you just did.
No, so
All in
should
favor?
be, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, nobody opposed, and there is no abstentions.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Go ahead, Eric.
So, quick question. Does the board so you have the actual sheet that will get sent out to residents that requires your signature. Do you want it to be done like we normally do it, or do you want to all come in and sign it tomorrow when you're there for the employee skip meeting?
Use my signature electronically.
Mine also.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm good with it.
Okay.
Paula?
Yep, you can use mine too.
Okay.
They say in the sports world, send it.
All right, 10B, Long Hill, I'm sorry, 10B, a Veterans Memorial Field turf contract.
So I
Scott?
was just sending this to you, so you had a copy of the contract. So you had asked me for that, and you had asked me for a practice schedule or a field schedule. So I provided the field schedule and the turf contract to you as a board.
Do you have any concerns about the contract, Art?
No, I mean, the contract is ongoing anyway. The only thing they're really required to supply us this year is essentially a cost schedule. So they've sent us a revised cost schedule and we baked that into the budget.
Okay.
And you have that whole cost in the budget? All
That
of it,
cost is in the budget, yes.
including the other, let's go Scott. Are we, just so Scott, I know is very involved in this, is this the Hebron contract only and the turf management contract is a separate issue, or is this all combined?
It's it's different contracts. We have one with the consultant and we have one with Hebron.
Okay, and I'm asking Eric, all those costs are baked into what we provided to the Board of Finance?
Correct.
That's all I wanted to verify. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Eric, were you looking for support from us to sign both that contract and the DOT?
I'm not looking for you to sign that contract. That contract was signed. It's a multi-year contract. The only thing they're required to provide us this year was the cost schedule. I'm just
Okay.
letting you know that we have the cost schedule, that's what it is, and it's baked into the budget.
So you're looking for the DOT and the building official services contract.
Correct.
We haven't gotten there yet, but we will.
Those are
now.
next two.
Yeah, so 10E, 10D, the DOT local bridge program preliminary application. We need to just make a motion to allow Eric to sign that. I mean, I went through that. Anybody have any questions?
I'll do
with
it. I'll sign. Motion to authorize the town administrator to sign the Connecticut Department of Transportation Federal Local Bridge Program preliminary application for bridge number 04582, located on Long Hill Road over the Hop River.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded.
All right, further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The
Aye.
vote- The vote was 5-0. No one voted against, no abstentions. We're all good.
Good.
All right, we're gonna move to not 10E, the Town of Bolton Building Official Service Contract.
I'm going to read that one too.
Sure, go ahead.
Motion to authorize the town administrator to sign a contract with the town of Bolton for Bolton official shared services from 1 January 22 through June 30th, 2023.
Seconded.
Okay, so here's one of the reasons why I wanted to discuss this with you, is that this bakes in what the Board of Selectmen approved and what so far the Board of Finance has agreed, which is an increase in hours starting July 1 for the official. I just want to make sure that you're aware that if we sign this, that's what we're agreeing to. We could pursue splitting the contract and signing another short-term contract that just gets us to July 1, if you felt more comfortable with that. I think they would go along with it. But since we've kind of agreed that this is where we're going, it's easier to do one single, approval if you're all on board with it.
I mean, this is what we need, so.
I have no problem with signing the contract.
Okay.
I mean, how much more money, just so everybody is aware, what's the additional funding over the prior year?
Well, it's basically, it goes from $1,115 per month between now and June 30th, and then $1,607 per month after that.
So
Which
less than $5,000 to improve our level of service. Okay, let's go. Anybody else have any other questions?
I don't, just want to vote.
With you, Scott. Scott, you have a good attitude tonight, Scott. Let's go. I'll call the motion. All those in favor? Aye.
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 That vote was 5-0, Adrian. No abstentions.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay. We are moving on to 10F, Finance Department Office Structure. So
As noted from the meeting, we're working on a description and Eric's working on the, Eric is working on the issue with Edmonds as far as access. And we are looking at, trying to figure out how many hours we want in there, but probably something around five hours a week, something like that at this point. So.
So we have some work to do, and we will sit there and get involved in it. Hopefully the software will allow us to do everything that we need to do properly. So we should be okay though.
Yep.
Anybody have any other questions related to the finance department? All right. 10G, Municipal Veterans Service Contact Person. So,
Okay, so the town is required annually to appoint a either a commission or a single person to be the municipal veterans service contract person.
So
So,
can we full stop before you go into the letter and the person and all that?
sure.
Although I appreciate that, I think it is appropriate that we at least advertise this because there are a lot of veterans in town. You know, it's nice to be able to have someone that's volunteered, and I appreciate her offer, but I think it's important that we offer that to other vets just in case, and then we make a selection.
Okay.
Does anyone disagree with that?
I don't disagree with it in principle. I sit there and um, I say we get it advertised and we vote on this next month. 'Cause
Perfectly fine with that. If we can have Carol Lee run something for, 2 weeks in the River East, that'd be great. JI, whatever. Just because, the veterans, I mean, Jerry's a perfect example of that, of how active our veterans are and how willing they are to volunteer. So, let's give them the opportunity.
Okay, well, we already know we have one good candidate. And
Exactly.
so we need
Exactly.
to get this moving. So,
I
all right.
agree.
Does anyone have any problem with that? All right.
Thank you.
Let's get this done. We did sit there and say we were attempting to try to put all positions out there and get them advertised, so we would do a better job as a board. So I don't really have a problem with it, but it needs to get done for next.
Yep, we will vote next meeting. I have no issue with that. So just real quick, Eric, so can we make sure we just put a deadline of that, like a week before the meeting? So we'll just advertise it for the next 2.
Sure.
So it closes out before next meeting.
Okay, 10H Kerma annual meeting. Eric, there was information in our packet. What would you like to share with us on this?
So I'm just saying that the meeting's coming up. I don't know how mobile I'm gonna be by that point. If one of you wants to go to the meeting, it's not a bad event to go to understand, meet some of your peers and go to the meeting. If anybody's interested, we can certainly register more than one person. So
Free food and drink?
there typically is free food and drink at this event. Not exactly free. The town pays insurance and the insurance pays for the banquet, but it's prepaid. Let's put it that way.
When and where is this?
It is Thursday, May 26th at the Hartford Downtown Marriott.
What time does it start? Do we know?
First seminar is at 9:30. Registration starts at 9, I believe.
Adrian, it's in the packet, page 77.
Thank you, ma'am. I think I'm still stuck on 16.
Oh. Eric, and when does any decision need to be made on that?
I don't know what the drop dead date is to register for that.
All right. We'll circle back to this one. We'll all get together and decide if all 5 of us would like to attend. Actually,
There you
that would probably be illegal.
Did anyone realize that our packet this week was 121 pages?
Yes, I did.
Yes. Just thought I'd mention that.
That's a low number. Sometimes.
I just feel bad, like residents go, why don't you read the packet? Well, it was only 120 pages of light reading just before the meeting.
Well, if you go through it and you go through the whole application for the bridge, which is all in there, and I mean, the issues to the pages to focus on are our financial pages.
Okay, see, and I actually enjoyed reading the bridge part. So just so clear, I did read that.
I read through the bridge package. It was interesting, but
Last week,
yeah, last week what?
read the bridge thing.
There you go. Okay. Now that we all know that like at least one of us has read different parts of this, it's a good thing. All right, we're moving on to 10I, upcoming in-person town meetings.
So very simple. As far as I know, the Connecticut legislature has not reauthorized the legislation that allows us to do Zoom meetings for town boards and commissions. So unless they get off their fourth points of contact in the next 19 days, the next Board of Selectmen meeting and all other town meetings will be in person only.
So is there statutorily something that says that we have to do that?
Yeah, pretty much.
'Cause, I mean, we've never gotten this much participation in the past. I mean, I personally think the Zooms are amazing.
Well, and I think it's kind of ridiculous that the state legislature is still meeting via Zoom, and they're going to let this thing expire. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Maybe they will do the right thing and extend it, as most of the municipal organizations like, CCM and Cost are urging them to do, but maybe they won't.
Okay, so we're gonna find out.
Can I weigh in on this, please?
Sure.
If you don't mind, I have a legislator living in the house with me, and she is a member of Democratic Party leadership. They had a meeting today on all the bills that are pending, and this bill is still on hold. There is a bill, I just emailed it to you all. It's called Raise Bill number 5269. I tried to email it to all of you about 10 minutes ago. If you want to know what the situation is now, it's in the packet is a memo from Halloran and Sage, which tells you how we got to this point. Last year, with the implementer bill, a 700-page document, a section 149 of that bill gave the rules that we're operating under now, which pretty much allows us to have the kind of meetings that you're having now, the Zoom meetings, the virtual meeting, the hybrid meeting. But that expires on April 30th, as Eric has pointed out. And there is a bill pending before the legislature, but it is not, I'm told by my friend who's in the legislature that it's not expected to be voted on the 13th when they next go into session. That would be a Wednesday. But she said anything can happen, and you never know. But there is a bill, and it is in, I believe, the General Administration Committee that is chaired by another resident of Willimantic as a state senator. So I can find out whatever I can about this and give you as much information as I can, give it to Eric especially for dissemination along the way, because it is important. It could be that your next meeting in May, early May, relatively early May, second Monday of May, could have to be in person, and that's going to be difficult for me because I won't be.
Dennis,
Yep.
do us a favor and use your contacts and get them to pass that bill so that we can continue to have meetings via Zoom.
Well, I'm told that it is a bill that has bipartisan support.
We could always just be rebels and do it anyways.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of finding the time to get it on the agenda for a vote in both the House and Senate, and time is marching on.
Well,
but my wife is optimistic about it.
You keep pressure on her, Dennis. You don't cook for her until she comes through on this.
Oh, if I do that, I'm going to be in big trouble. So I try to handle that with great care.
Okay. All right.
But in any event, I will keep Eric informed.
So we will know before we post our next meeting minutes or our next agenda whether it has to be in person or not. So
you will know, yes. And if you can be of any help at all of you, I will contact you individually to have you lobby your own representative. But I think there is bipartisan support. Thank you.
All right. We're going to move to 10J, Community Center RFP for design build.
Yeah, so we are just looking for approval from the Board of Selectmen. We had a lot of positive reaction at the meeting on Saturday. I think Scott would agree. And Jeff, what do you think? What would, I think we've had good feedback though. And we're at the point now where we just have to try to take in some of the things were legitimate concerns. We're trying to just figure out if they're feasible, as far as, some parking and things like that. But these are all things that we can work out as we go through the process. But the next step for us is to go and start soliciting design build quotes from contracting firms. So we're looking for permission from the Board of Selectmen to put out an RFP for that. And we're working on the RFP as we speak.
All right, let's make that motion.
So I'd make a motion to allow the community center building committee to move the project to and ask for RFP for design build.
I'll second that.
All right, further discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 5-0.
Can we discuss that a little bit?
Sure.
Adrian, we approved $50,000, didn't we, initially?
Yeah, there's no cost associated with this. Is that your question?
Yeah.
There's
So we're
no,
just soliciting quotes. at this
we're
point.
soliciting quotes.
Oh, okay.
Once we get a quote, I think the correct measure would be to go back to CIP and ask CIP to approve the correct contractor, and then move that to the Board of Selectmen to approve signing a contract with that contractor once the budget's been passed.
Okay. Very good.
Okay.
Move along.
That'll allow us to do final structure for payment too, so we can figure out, exactly what we need.
All right, 10K, authorize Yukon Energy benchmarking study.
So Kathy Palazzi has been talking to, went to an informational about doing an energy benchmark for town buildings. And there's a person up at Yukon that's willing to do that for the town. And so the ask is that we allow that to move forward. And basically it doesn't cost us anything. They're going to come in and benchmark our usages and try to give us advice as to how to make us more efficient on our energy usage.
That shouldn't be hard.
You mean insulation? So let's make a motion on that.
I would make a motion that we allow oh, hang on, sorry. Where is that?
Amy Thompson.
Allow Amy Thompson of the Yukon Engineering to allow I'm looking for the actual thing. Why am I not finding it? Sorry, I'm having a senior moment.
It happens.
It's more often than not lately.
I'm with you. I'm old.
Authorize Amy Thompson to do the Yukon Energy benchmarking study.
Thank you, Scott. Seconded.
Okay. Further discussion? Anybody? It's free.
It is.
It's free.
Let's do it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Kathy.
5-0. No opposition, Adrian. Okay.
By the way, this was all Kathy. I had nothing to do with it except to note it tonight. This is something Kathy's been working on, so.
10L, town personnel policy.
Okay, I asked that we put this back on.
Who won?
When we left off a month or so ago, Adrian was going to get with the elementary school and get what their version of the policy you want to implement for return to work policy. So we need to see where that is. And then I think there's a couple other things that are issues with the personnel policy that if we're going to go to the trouble to revise it, we ought to do. One would be first and foremost, switching to 26 hours for when benefits kick in for all new employees. That makes sense. And the second thing is somehow or other, when we switched personnel policies from the previous one to this last one, we took out the section about longevity payments. You know, I think that was honestly an oversight of my part. We've continued to budget for longevity payments the last 2 years, but it's actually not in the personnel policy. So that's another thing we ought to review.
Is that
And
in the union contracts or?
it is not in the union contracts because it was in the personnel policy, and where there's nothing specific in the union contract, the personnel policy trumps.
Okay, and so the next question is the 26 hours going to run us into an issue with the unions as well?
So if you remember, MEIU agreed to the 26 hours, and I haven't gotten a chance to look through that contract that they just sent, but
Okay.
I'm assuming that has that in there. So part of the reason why I want to do it now is we're about to start negotiating for the other union. So we ought to do them both at the same time. We ought to get it in that union contract, and we ought to update our personnel policy at the same time. So then everything will be consistent.
What, I thought we had already agreed to it prior, and I knew that I didn't realize we actually had a contract back from them yet. I know you had talked about expecting one, but.
I sent that to you this past week. I think he just sent it to me either Friday or Saturday.
Okay, yeah.
So you should have a copy of that contract.
Okay. You need a motion?
Well, I think you guys have, the last time we met, you guys hadn't made a decision whether you wanted to approve the language that Dennis wrote or whether you wanted to review what the school was going to do and propose alternative language.
Unfortunately, I apologize. I did ask Valerie to get us a copy of that, and I apologize. I did not follow up. I thought she might have just shot it over to you, and I got lost in the loop, and that's my fault for assuming.
Okay.
Is it something that needs to get done tonight, Eric?
No, but I just need to make sure that, you know, I don't want to start writing other sections or making other modifications of it until you're generally agreed that that's something we should be doing.
From when I talked to Val about it, it sounded like they kind of had exactly what we were looking for. So I will ask for that again. And again, I will make a note when I ask to then follow up a week later. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. We have 10M, discussion about the Connecticut Emergency Radio Agreement. Chief Mike from the fire department has asked that we sign an agreement that allows the town of Andover to participate into the new state radio program. My concern with that agreement has always been that it may require the town to pay for additional radios. The chief has informed me that that is not necessarily the case, and he's asked me to sign that document. And I figured I would bring it to the board before I actually sign that document.
What does not necessarily mean?
Well, he believes that, he's going to try to go out and get grant funding. Now, here's the thing. He doesn't need those radios. He can participate on the UHF band, but the concern is that in my mind, the concern is that the state will not support the UHF band eventually, and that we'll be required to purchase those radios.
Well, if they don't
do UHF, we need the new radio program.
Anyways,
so,
yeah.
Anyways, so I'm just letting you all know, because my biggest issue was, I had talked to Jay when Eric first got injured. I talked to Jay about it, and the Public Works doesn't have any radios that would work on this system. The chief doesn't have any radios that will work on this system right now. But his hope is that he eventually will acquire those radios, whether it's through grant funding or through, the town. But if we had to go out and get all of the radios all at once, Eric, $200,000 is not a short sell for the cost of all the radios. The
How
town-
many radios?
It's for the public
Lot.
works department. I mean, you would have.
We're
a lot
not
of
paying, we're not paying for every single person to have a radio.
Right,
uh,
right now, we're not, I mean,
They
we're
were.
not advocating the switchover. All this allows us to do is at some point in the future, consider the switchover.
But how did they come up? How did this $200,000 number come out?
That was the chief and understanding all of the radios that he would have involved in this. I mean,
Do you understand how many radios that is?
Yeah, he basically sat there and said every officer, all of the vehicles. You know, that's a lot of radios.
No, that's more than that.
Well, he just told-
$200,000 at
listen,
4,000 a radio is 40 radios.
he just told me that Lebanon basically spent that on radios for this new service. So it is something that's very concerning to me because I don't particularly look at it as a, I know what he's saying. He's like, it's not requiring the town to commit any funding to participate in this radio program, but it is laying the groundwork that if they don't get grant funding, the town could be on the hook to participate on this service, a significant amount of money for all of the radios required. So the question is, I mean, the fire department wants us to sign this. So
What's the fire commission said?
the fire commission, I believe, has agreed with the chief. I don't have any direct communication with the fire commission. I did not reach out to them. So I would sit there and just tell you that I wanted to bring it to your attention because I didn't want to just sign it without bringing it to the board. But it is something that down the road, and I told the chief, I don't want him coming asking for CIP to fund his radios anytime soon.
Okay, but the problem with what I'm hearing from you, so the quote from JNS Radio was $306 per unit for the radios.
Well, then the chief is giving me information that we could fund that. Because I believe he told me only about 40 radios. I thought it was a total. I thought he was telling me these radios were extremely expensive.
Well, it'd be 653 radios if that's the case. That's why I said when you say 200,000, I'm like, phone, like, I know it wasn't that much. I mean, and this is because they have to be name brand, they're not cheap. It's a specific, has to be, there's only certain manufacturers that are going to be doing this. And the quote was for JNS radio sales, and that was given to us. I mean, granted, it was, I will say up front, it was a year ago, so they could have gone up, but
yeah, but are these radios for the old system or the new system?
that's the new system, because we talked about it for Public Works last year.
Okay.
Remember, Eric?
Yeah, we discussed it. I mean,
I finally got into my email, so I searched for this radio quote because I remember we had gotten one. So.
right. I mean, I think Jay provided quotes for what inexpensive radios to do it would be for their needs, but that's, whether that's necessarily what the fire department wants or needs.
But even if the fire department does an installed dash unit radio at $2,000 a piece, instead of $300 a piece, let's say it's $2,000 a piece, right? You're still, if you're 40 radios, that's, 80 grand. That's not 200. So.
Okay, so no one here is going to have a significant problem with me signing this so that the fire department can participate.
No, I mean, so we give them the option to participate. If he gets the grant money, then they move over, all at once. And if they don't, then we have to do it slowly, I mean, they have other pieces of apparatus they've been asking for. So we'll have to they'll prioritize and let us know, where they want to put the money, I guess.
Okay, then I'll get that done.
Unless someone else disagrees.
All All right, let's move on then. If no one had any other issues, item 11, approval of meeting minutes for Monday, March 14th, regular meeting, and Thursday, March 24th, 2022, a special meeting.
I make a motion to approve the March 14th, 2022 regular meeting minutes and the March 24th, 2022 regular meeting minutes.
I'll second
Actually,
it.
sorry, that should be March
Special.
24th, special meeting minutes.
Right, to amend, approve the March 24th special meeting minutes.
So noted.
Okay, who is seconding that?
Scott.
Scott. All right, further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 All right, 5-0, none opposed, no abstentions. All right,
So where's our finance person again? I thought we were agreeing to work with them until July. The finance person also didn't make the Board of Finance meeting for budget.
Yep.
So
Finance
what's going-
person is in Hawaii on vacation.
So somebody approved the vacation in the middle of budget season for the finance department.
Well, because she's a school employee and that fits in with when school vacation is.
And no one thought to maybe have her assistant come on and answer some of these questions. Good. At least we know why we're doing what we're doing. I will
Here.
ask. Go ahead.
So first of all, Marina is probably in on this conversation. She's also at
Yes.
her other job, but she should be in on the phone. So if you have budget related questions.
I do. So we have in our finance report, a budget line item for interest. And it's showing that we are woefully under on the interest line. And I would kind of like to get an answer as to what's going on with that.
are you talking revenue income, interest
Yep.
income?
Yeah, so it's 130 000 interest line, 40,000 budgeted. We've collected 2478.50. So we've only collected 6% of what we thought we were going to get. And I don't know if that's a reconciliation issue or if it's just that we ridiculously over budgeted.
Well, listen, that's not a question for Marina, honestly. That's an issue related to, I mean, I was looking at that, Adrian, sitting there trying to match these numbers up to some of the tax collectors' information, and
Yep.
there's no way that we could have budgeted that for interest income on our money. And if we did budget that as interest income on our
Yeah, because
banked money,
we're not even,
never-
are we at 1% on deposits at this point?
no. I would doubt it. I bet you're half a percent, a quarter of 1%.
Right.
But it also goes into and posted in because, I was sitting there looking at this, trying to tie out to the tax collector's report because I was looking at the interest on active taxes. And it says that we've collected $33,000, but I can't tie that into, I can't tie that into the tax collector's report. in
So
any manner.
Marina, can
So
you
I'm
make a
wondering
note
where
of
that
those
comes
two
from.
line items? So
Yes.
it's 110 and it's 103. And the other one is 130, 303.
Okay, I'm writing a note in my phone. Can you say the first one again?
110.
Yep.
103.
Oh, three,
That's the
interest,
account
okay.
ID. And the other one
Yeah.
is 130 and it's 303.
Sure. Okay, yep, I'll take a look. I'm just on my phone, so I have nothing at home, but I can.
No,
look
no, no,
this
we're
up.
not asking. We understand your situation fully at this moment. So thank you for
Okay.
being on the call.
Yeah, no
If
problem.
you can sort that out, get an answer from your boss when she gets back, that would be great.
And then
Sure.
Eric, just as a side thing, Eric, under the revenue section, so we'll stay there for a second. Transfer station permits.
Correct?
We've only recorded 25,000 or $24,887 worth of permits this year.
Sure, because a lot of our permits come in right at the very end of the year as people buy them in this fiscal year for
Right.
the next, before July 1. So if we get them before July 1, they go in this year's fiscal year.
So we're gonna get we'll get a bunch of these coming in, and then she just got new stickers in, so.
Okay, so you're
Right.
you're saying in June you'll get a big significant push that'll push that revenue over. Okay. that's
Correct.
what I was looking at it more of a for this year, and you posted for this year.
So-
all right.
Okay. Oh, actually, this brings up a question I had for Eric. We no longer, and I apologize, I'm out of order as far as where we are on the list, but we got rid of the flat pack down at the transfer station for cardboard.
What do you mean by the flat pack?
Well, we had a cardboard that we had an open top dumpster that we were flat packing in.
Yes, we did get rid of we brought that in for a short period of time at the Christmas holidays. We brought it in for about a month because we were getting an exceptional amount of cardboard in over the holidays. So that
Yeah,
was the holiday only thing.
We still had it in February because I noticed it in February, and I think the beginning of March, I also hit it. We still had it then, but now it's gone.
I don't
So
think we should have had it that late, but it's possible.
we did. Yeah, we did. Because I'm actually still, I unfortunately get a lot of cardboard from Amazon, so it drives me nuts. But anyways, so was there any advantage to having that?
The advantage was we didn't have enough compactor capacity to handle the surge.
Okay.
So we just were running out of space. So we did that on a short-term basis. But we do have we are taking in year over year comparatively a lot more cardboard than we have in the past. And it is definitely more problematic.
Can we look at, and I don't know if we have talked to them, transfer station people about it, like the guys that give us the new company that's taken over Willie Waste, but we currently have a side chute for the cardboard. Can we get one to go the other way?
We could, or we could just switch our trash to that compactor. But yeah, we are going to look into what it would cost Willie Waste to come in and redo the chute or switch out the compactor.
Okay.
We did go out this year, and I did get a quote to figure out what it would cost if we went and brought in another compactor.
Okay.
Because 4 in some ways makes more sense there.
Okay. And what do we have did you ever pass that along to us? I don't remember seeing it.
I didn't, because it didn't seem like in this budget year we were going to do it. If you would like that information, I will forward that information to you.
If you wouldn't mind, that'd be great.
Sure.
And then as a short-term solution, can we, when next time they come and pull, can we have them switch the dumpsters around? So we put trash there, and because it jams up a lot on cardboard when it comes in from the side like that. They've been
Yes.
struggling with it, so.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem is that we have the one straight-in dumpster now. You could convert that one over to cardboard, but then that means you're going back and forth with household trash in 2 different areas. So there's some downsides to that too.
Well,
Doable.
but the cardboard's backing them up a lot. I mean, every time that I've gone in there over the weekends, it's the cardboard that people are backed up on. So it'll make their lives a little easier.
Okay.
If we can let Dominic know to do that, that'd be great.
Okay, does anybody have any more questions related to the finance department?
I do not.
Any other members?
Marina, were you on this whole call?
Yeah, I've just been listening when I left at 7, I sat down just to listen.
Okay. Can we in the future, if we have Marina on the call, move finance to the front of the list so that she doesn't get stuck on the whole meeting?
Absolutely.
Marina, can you just let us know next time? So that,
Yeah.
you know, if you're on, we're, you know, we don't want to be in a situation where we're keeping you on a 2-hour call, you know, and then having to comp that the next day.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
Thank you.
Yep.
She's working as she listens to us babble on. So we
Well,
appreciate
I had
the call.
evening off from H&R Block, so I only have a week left, so that's good.
All right.
With your luck, they'll extend the deadline. You'll get stuck there another week.
Same.
I hope not.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Marina.
You're welcome. All right, I'm gonna jump off.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
So we're going to move on to budget appropriation transfer over expenditure requests. Eric, I did not see any in the packet. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. And part of the reason is Marina and I have been going through the current budget, basically line by line, looking for things that are misplaced. So that we get it correct and we're actually accounting for things in the right category before we figure out what we need to transfer. So we're about a third of the way through the budget line items at this point. So by the next meeting, we'll have a more accurate assessment of that.
And just as I mean, it's probably not even here. Can you make the reports have headers on every page so that you can understand what the columns are? If you can get to Edmonds and get that done, or have Sherry get that done, that would be greatly appreciated. So,
Ready to get Marina so she can start learning her way around Edmonds a little more.
yeah. Okay, the tax collector's report. Anybody have any questions related to that? I was trying to tie some of the taxes and the interest paid to our revenue summary to date, but it doesn't look like all of the transactions have been posted yet. You know, we still have, you know, about $2 million of 2020 taxes yet to collect. So
We'll get a significant fraction of that this month because this is a collection month. But there's 19 more days left in the collection month. And I don't think
I owe you $5,000. What's your point?
you're not the only one.
no. All right, and then there's a letter in here from the town attorney about a refund for Thomas Talbot for the transfer of the 7.84 acres near Shotty, Maryland, and Boston Hill. We need to pass that and get him his refund back. Will someone make a motion for that?
I make a motion to authorize the first selectman to sign the authorization to refund Thomas Talbot in the amount of $130.22 for taxes paid in advance on property he donated to the town of Andover located near Boston Hill Road.
I'll second.
All right, further discussion? None? All those in favor? Aye.
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 All right, so 5-0. Nothing opposed, no abstentions. We're gonna move on to our next item, which is the assessor's report. I did not see anything included. Did anyone see anything included? Did I miss something?
Nope.
Okay. There were various other.
There's an assessor's monthly office activity report, but there's not a report from the assessor himself in there. But it's not really all that informative anyway.
Okay. Nope. Fire
So
department report. Anybody have any other questions from any of the other reports?
I do have one thing on the fire department report. There was apparently a fairly bad fire this afternoon or this evening in the Lake District. There's apparently at least one fatality resulting from that. So That's all I know about it so far. That there's a house fire and it's under investigation and, you know, I heard from Trooper Nessie that there was a fatality.
That's hard.
Let's move on from that. I feel sorry for that. Hopefully, was it the, well, we'll ask a question, Eric, resident, and it was not one of the fire department members?
I don't know
Mhm.
anything at this point. You have every bit of information I have. I would assume the fire chief would have reached out to me if one of his members had, you know, been killed.
All right.
Apparently, Jim, I don't know the gentleman's last name, did not make it.
Okay, that is very sad. Our prayers go out to his family.
He did get out, but he did not. They were able to get him out, but it was too late.
All right, let's move on to item 17, correspondence. Eric, is there any?
Not that I'm aware of. Nope.
Okay, let's move on to public speak. So, Joanne Ebert. Nope. Okay. Leanne Hutchinson.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi. Yes, I just wanted to say that I think that you have a small but diverse group of people who put their names in for the charter revision. And I was involved in that in the past. And I think having the town clerk in particular, this town clerk, I think is very capable. And I think you have a good cross section of other people who put their names in, particularly people who've been in town for quite a while. And I totally understand the concerns about the attendance record of the individual that was mentioned. I wasn't aware of that, but that is very important. And I hope that, I think one of your members stated that they talked with him personally and that he is committed to doing this.
All right. Thank you. All right. And Susan Camarota.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for letting me attend the meeting. It was very informative, interesting.
Thank you very much for attending.
Thank you.
I don't think there's anyone else, is there?
Joanne, did you call on her? Ebert?
Did first. And so she's.
I'm sorry, did I miss? I am here, Jeff. I'm sorry. I'll make it really quick.
No, too late.
Oh, I was switching over to computers. I think I need to just say really quickly that I'm speaking as just a resident, a public person, not as a member of the Board of Finance. And I'm going to make it brief only because of something that was said tonight. Just with all due respect to the RAM Board of Ed members that came on and spoke about their budget, that's fine. I mean, they were there very brief. And I just want to mention two facts, not an opinion, but a couple of things that weren't mentioned that hopefully, everyone's going to make their own decision. They should study it. I take a lot of time studying it. They mentioned the 2% decrease there. They failed to mention that this is a year where the bond for the school funding went $1.5 million. And then they did make, over, I think when I was listening and looking, there's cuts that add up to over 2 million. Then there's also the fact of the 600,000 that they're not returning to the towns this year because they're allowed to keep it due to rules and charters. So speaking as just a private citizen, everyone should make their own decisions. Adrian, you weren't on the call when they spoke today, so they came on very brief and asked for support of the budget, which they can do. I just think that everyone should study the facts, that's all, and see what's out there. So
You mean the fact that they're spending, the fact that they're spending 1.5 million more instead of going down? Yeah, that's kind of.
And that they're keeping the 600,000. I mean, they present it this way every year. So I just want to be transparent and everyone taking the time to study it, you know,
Yep.
and know what you're looking at. So when I see 2%, you know, the public might think, you know, they usually jump in, that sounds great. That's all. I just wanted to know because no one asked questions about that, and I happen to know a little bit about that budget, so I wanted to share a little more. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Anybody else that I missed? Okay. Somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn at 9:31 PM.
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, 5-0, and no one opposed and no abstentions. Thank you very much.
Okay.
We'll see you guys later.
Good night.
Thanks.